everyone, and welcome back to our magical kitchen. Today, we've got a super sweet and slightly sticky story for you. You all know our big, lovable candy monster, right? Well, something absolutely bonkers just happened. Let's dive in. It all started on a sunny afternoon. The kitchen was quiet, the sunbeams were dancing on the countertops, and our candy monster was feeling a bit bored. He'd organized all the sprinkles by color, polished the lollipops until they sparkled, and even tried to teach the marshmallows how to sing. Nothing seemed exciting enough. His gaze landed on a mysterious, shimmering jar tucked away on the highest shelf. It was filled with a swirling, rainbow-colored liquid labeled ageless ambrosia. Ooh, fancy! Ageless ambrosia, he mumbled to himself, his big tummy rumbling with curiosity. Maybe it tastes like a rainbow slushie. Without a second thought, he tiptoed onto a stack of cookbooks, stretched his long, gummy arm, and snatched the jar. He popped the cork, and a scent of stardust and cotton candy filled the air. He took a tiny sip, then another. It was delicious. Gulp, gulp, gulp. He drank the whole thing. Suddenly, a poof of glitter erupted around him. A rainbow light swirled, and when it faded, poof! Our big, fluffy candy monster was gone. In his place sat a tiny, baby version of himself, no bigger than a cupcake, with huge, bewildered eyes and a tiny tuft of pink fluff on his head. He tried to say candy, but all that came out was a little goo-goo. He had accidentally turned himself into a baby. Wobbling on his tiny feet, baby candy monster looked around. The world was gigantic. The kitchen counter was a vast, white plain. The fruit bowl was a mountain range of colorful giants. A cheerful strawberry, seeing the tiny creature, rolled over. Well, hello there, little guy. Where did you come from? Baby candy monster just pointed a chubby finger at his mouth and babbled. The strawberry chuckled. You must be new here. I'm Berry. Soon, a whole parade of friendly fruits gathered around. There was Berry the blueberry, a bunch of giggling grapes, and a wise old banana named Nana. They were all so kind, but baby candy monster felt a little scared. He was so small. Just then, from a dark corner near the coffee machine, a gruff voice grumbled, "What's all this racket? Can an old bean get some peace and quiet?" A wrinkly, dark brown coffee bean hopped out, leaning on a cinnamon stick like a cane. This was Kofi, the grumpiest bean in the pantry. He squinted at the baby, HMPH. Another noisy little thing. "What's your story, Pipsqueak?" Berry the strawberry explained what happened, how the big candy monster drank the ageless ambrosia. Kofi stroked his chin. "Ageless ambrosia, you say? That stuff is powerful. Reverses time, it does. But it wears off. He just needs to wait it out." Waiting, however, is not something babies are good at. Baby candy monster was ready to play. He discovered that a single sprinkle was the perfect size for a toy. He'd push it around like a tiny car, making little vroom vroom sounds. The giggling grapes thought this was the best game ever and started rolling stray sprinkles toward him. He'd chase them, tumbling over his own feet, and everyone would laugh. Then he discovered the sugar bowl. To him, it was a giant sandbox made of sparkling white crystals. He waddled over and jumped right in, making tiny sugar angels and throwing handfuls of sugar into the air like confetti. Nana the banana had to gently lift him out before he got completely lost in the sweet, sugary dunes. But being tiny had its challenges. He tried to climb onto a cookie, but it was like scaling a cliff. He slipped and slid down the chocolate chips. He saw a delicious-looking river of honey slowly dripping from a jar and wanted a taste, but he couldn't reach it. He felt a tear well up in his big eye. It was hard being so small. Seeing his frustration, Kofi the coffee bean, who had been watching from afar, let out a sigh. All right, stop your blubbering. He hopped over. The world isn't going to shrink for you, kid. You've got to be clever. Kofi pointed his cinnamon stick cane towards a long strand of licorice lace. Use that. A light bulb went on in Baby Candy Monster's tiny head. He grabbed the licorice lace, and with the help of Berry the strawberry, they fashioned it into a tiny lasso. He practiced, swinging it around, and on his third try, he managed to loop it over the handle of the honey dipper. The fruits all cheered. With a mighty heave-ho, they all pulled together, and slowly, a golden drop of honey lowered down to him. It was the sweetest, most delicious victory he had ever tasted. Feeling brave, Baby Candy Monster decided to explore further. He ventured towards the toaster, which looked like a shiny silver castle. Suddenly, with a loud asterisk, kerchunk asterisk, the toaster slots popped up, sending a wave of warm air that nearly blew him over. It was a friendly waffle popping up to say hello. Ho there, little fella! Watch out for the morning rush. The waffle was warm and had little squares perfect for climbing. Baby Candy Monster giggled and used the waffle like his own personal jungle gym, climbing in and out of the squares. His next adventure took him to the spice rack, a towering skyscraper of mysterious jars. He met a family of peppercorns who sneezed every time they talked, and a calm sprig of rosemary who told him peaceful stories of growing in a sunny garden. The world was full of so many interesting characters. But as the day went on, a big yawn escaped his tiny mouth. He was getting sleepy. Nana the banana noticed. Looks like someone needs a nap, she said softly. She found a soft, fluffy marshmallow, which was the perfect size for a bed. Baby Candy Monster curled up on it, and Nana gently rocked him, humming a sweet lullaby. As he slept, another magical glittery poof happened. The rainbow light swirled around the marshmallow. When it faded, the baby was gone. Lying there, snoring loudly, was our good old, big, fluffy candy monster again. He slowly woke up, stretching his long, gummy arms. He blinked, looking down at his big feet. Ho, he said in his normal, deep voice. What a weird dream. I dreamt I was tiny and used a licorice rope to get some honey. Berry the strawberry rolled over, giggling. It wasn't a dream, silly. Berry the blueberry and the grapes all chimed in, telling him about his adventures. He looked at the strand of licorice and the single drop of honey on the counter. His eyes went wide. It was real. Kofi the coffee bean hopped over. Let that be a lesson to you. Don't go drinking things you don't understand. Then he cracked a tiny smile. But I have to admit, kid, you're pretty resourceful for a pipsqueak. Candy Monster looked at all his friends, the fruits, the waffle, even the grumpy coffee bean, and felt a wave of gratitude. He might have accidentally become a baby, but he also made new friends and learned that even when you're small, you can do big things if you're clever and have a little help from your friends. And you can bet he's never, ever drinking mystery potions again. What a wild day in the kitchen! It just goes to show you that adventure can be found in the most unexpected places. Thanks for joining our magical tale today. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss our next kitchen adventure. See you next time!